Teens stealing cars is something CrimeTracker 10 continues to follow.
Columbus police tracked 2 stolen cars to this area.
Teenagers driving a stolen car, leading police on a high-speed chase.
Well, they just cleared the intersection. Both cars were badly damaged.
Well, we don't need to tell you how big of a problem this has been. Odds are you or someone you know has probably had a car stolen in the past couple of years. But CrimeTracker 10's Lacey Chris wanted to know what's being done to curb the problem. She sat down with the Franklin County Juvenile Court administrative judge and asked her what judges are doing.
Everybody's bailing out.
Teens stealing cars.
It's like every time I come here, y'all arrest me every time.
CrimeTracker 10 has warned you about the growing problem.
Stop! Get on the ground! Get on the ground!
And those repeat offenders. This 16-year-old girl was arrested by Whitehall police 4 times in about a month, including twice in 72 hours. She is not alone. According to the Franklin County Juvenile Courts, there were 956 stolen car cases in front of that courtroom from January to April of this year. 330 of the 956, or 35%, had multiple cases.
I can tell you when I look at a case, whether it's now as a judge or when I was a magistrate who would hear these types of cases, generally I would look at what has happened, so their history, not just like their recent history, but their entire juvenile history.
Franklin County Juvenile Court Administrative Judge Lachelle Stroud says juveniles need to be treated as such and should be placed in a program instead of being held when possible.
Our role as a court is to not treat juveniles as adults. It's not the purpose of our system. We have a completely different mission.
According to the Franklin County Juvenile Courts, about 63% of those juveniles brought in for car theft-related cases from January to April this year were held at the Juvenile Intervention Detention Center.
We all know the detrimental effects of holding youth in the Juvenile Intervention Center when they should not be there, because just one night in the Juvenile Intervention Center will decrease their chances of graduating from high school by 50%.
But what about public safety?
So all of those questions should really go to risk and if there is a threat to the public safety.
There was a 93% increase in stolen car case filings in Franklin County Juvenile Courts from 2019 to 2022. The good news is that number has decreased 22% so far in 2023.
But when, the situation with the Kia and the Hyundais came up, we have since that point felt like we were making sure that we were flexible and being responsive to the issue because there was a need.
Whether or not to hold a youth is based on a point system. During the pandemic, that point system was changed so fewer youth were held. In recent weeks, the juvenile court has reverted back to pre-pandemic screening. This is what the scoring sheet looks like. It asks questions about what serious offenses the juvenile is facing and the level of violence, other cases, if weapons were used, or if the child is currently on an electronic monitoring device, or EMD. Stroud says the court is placing more juveniles accused of stealing cars on GPS ankle monitors, something they wouldn't have considered just a few years ago. She says the court is working on other ways to address the growing problem.
So those are some of the things that we did initially to say, yes, this is a problem. Yes, we want to be responsive to it.
Lacey Crisp, 10 TV News.
Now, the court offers several diversion programs to kids to try to keep them from spending time in jail. Depending on the youth and their families, their needs, they're going to place them in the best program to help the child and their family. So if you have a concern or you'd like our CrimeTracker 10 team to look into, send us your story. Just email crimetracker10@10tv.com.